whipped woman was dragged into the woods, followed by two strong men. One man gives the order. The woman was hung by a rope in the air. She is being whipped mercilessly, but from the look on her face, she was enjoying herself. What had just happened was the woman's dream. Her name was Lena. She was a beautiful young woman, but her dream was to become a prostitute. On the street, Lena, in all her finery, was at a door. She wants to knock but hesitates, so she goes to a park bench and sulks. She doesn't know how much time has passed. She finally found the courage and knocked on the door that represented desire. The opening of this door, it meant that Lena would have a new identity, for in all times, prostitutes were the lower class of society. Everyone who works here, they all have their own problems, but Lena was completely different. She didn't need anything, just a desire for excitement, even though she was new to the area. But Lena is not shy at all. She discreetly made an appointment with the pimp to set up a time to work, because she has to spend the evenings with her husband, Pia. So Lena's daily shift ends in the afternoon. The uniqueness of her working hours, with her beauty and figure, the pimp gave her a very nice name, Daytime Beauty. But why did Lena come here? In the eyes of her friends, she should be the happiest wife in the world. As a woman, she has a sexy body and a perfect face. As a wife, she has an endless supply of money and clothes, and a husband who is rich and loves her very much. But what others don't know is Lena's apparently perfect marriage. But the only thing missing was sex with Pia. Unlike other couples, Lena had two beds in her bedroom. After kissing Lena every night, Pia chose to sleep in a separate bed from her. It's like a pair of heterosexual friends who are afraid to overstep their boundaries. It was fine for a day or two, but Lena is also a woman with physical needs. For her, this life is the greatest torture of all. Every night, after her husband Pia was asleep, she would fantasize shamefully of intimate contact with the opposite sex. Perhaps it was because of her long repression. Lena's fantasies were always full of abuse and shame. In fact, when she was a young girl, she had been assaulted by a lecherous older man. The experience was always in the back of her mind. This night she had another strange dream. She dreamed that she and Pia were riding in a carriage, slowly heading deeper into the forest, and unlike reality, Pia in the dream was so amorous. He would tease her unapologetically. He even removes her clothes and hangs her tightly from a tree. He would order the two drivers to beat her with a whip, and Pia would stand by and watch in contentment. It was like an easy task. Lena woke up from her dream, back to her boring life. Today she has to go to work at the brothel. She wants to meet Pia for dinner before work, but she's met with a ruthless refusal. But this rejection opens the door to the lonely young woman's desires. The attraction of the Daytime Beauty is super hot. Soon Lena has her first business. The people who spend money here, there was no comparison with her husband, Pia. They were all so strange looking, and they talk dirty. When faced with such customers, Lena's heart resisted, but there was no turning back. She reluctantly receives her first customer. When a woman is never able to achieve both physical and spiritual satisfaction, then she'll keep trying to find the breakthrough. The first job was quickly and successfully completed. This time Lena feels very dirty. She rinsed her body helplessly. She burned the clothes she was wearing for the job. She even pretended to be sick. She refused to go on a trip with Pia, but soon after Pia left, Lena was once again caught up in a fantasy. It was not only herself and Pia who were in her dreams again, and his best friend Marcel. Marcel is a hypnotist. Marcel is mesmerized by the first time he sees her, although Lena is happy inside, but she refuses Marcel's advances again and again. In her dreams, Lena becomes a victim again. She is dressed in white and tied to a pole. Her body is covered in sludge by her husband Pia and Marcel, but she does not resist in any way. Instead, she enjoys it. This means that Lena is already in the mud, and she is no longer the magnificent and beautiful goddess on high.